It's been a long time since I last made a video. It's been a long time since Israel. I came back around December. I've just been going where God calls me to go. And I decided just to do the Great Commission. And I just want to share a story that I read. This is actually a true story. It's about this man who lived in Korea. And he was an orphan as a child. His parents learned that he had a learning disability when he was young. They went to a really busy part of Seoul, which is the major city here, and they just left him. This lady heard him crying. He was eating through some garbage. So she took him, tried to find his parents. She couldn't locate them. So after trying for a few days, she took him to an orphanage. And this orphanage was out in the boondocks somewhere, out in the country. And they really didn't have much money, much support, much help. So they had a few workers, but a lot of children. It's kind of an epidemic here, as well as a lot of Asian countries, where they pretty much neglect or even help out in any way orphan children. So most of the funding that they get is from churches. And so this child grew up in the orphanage. And while other children got adopted, this kid never got adopted. You know, people came by, but he had a learning disability, and he couldn't speak very well, and he looked different. He was never adopted. The kids made fun of him, and he really grew up with no love or any support or guidance. The only grade that he finished was the 4th grade. He couldn't go any higher. He lived there his entire teen life, his younger life, entire teen life. And then when he was 18, they had to let him go because they couldn't take care of him because he was an adult. So he went out on his own. He tried to find a job. He couldn't. So he ended up becoming a delivery man for food, like lunch and dinner, on a scooter. So this is what he did 6 days a week. He didn't get paid very much, maybe like $600 a month. And out of this money, he lived in this tiny little room. It was like a hotel building, but they had separate rooms that they rented out for $300 a month. And it included rice and like kimchi. This is all he ate. And he saved what he had left over. So this $300 he had left over, and this one day off that he had a week, he went back to the orphanage that he grew up in. He spent his days off giving these kids, candy and toys and playing with them and loving them. Well, he did this for 30 years. And then one day he stopped coming. And so the owner of the orphanage tried to find out what happened. They found out that he died. And he didn't have any family, anyone, no friends, nothing, right? So they looked into his room, in that little hotel room that they rented out, and they found that he only had like 1 pair of shoes, like 2 pairs of pants, 3 shirts, and a Bible. And he had no TV. He didn't have a cell phone. No radio, nothing. All he had was this Bible. And I guess the owner of the orphanage felt so kind of responsible to tell his story. So she went and told people. And so she told the hotel owner, as well as the person at his job, his boss, that didn't know anything about what he did on his days off. And so all of them contacted newspapers, and they wrote this story about him. And they didn't even have money for a funeral, but all these people, celebrities, and even the president of Korea, all these people threw him this huge funeral. And 10,000 people showed up. Just all types of celebrities, Korean drama, K-pop, the president, all these people showed up to give respect for this man who gave his life for these children, who wanted these kids to not feel the neglect and the abandonment that he felt, so that he knew that each of these kids will feel love and feel appreciated and feel like they deserve love, right? So after reading this, Obviously this story is very moving, and I was just trying to figure out, like, wow, this guy learned, like, God's love just through the Bible. And it just reminded me how important it is to read the Bible, and how full of truth it is and full of love it is. We're like a cup, and God fills His love. He shows us His love, and when it's overflowing, we will go and others can see that love, and they're going to want to experience that love. Share the love, everyone. Shine the light, and don't hide it. Okay? God bless.